Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Students, today we are going to study Emotional Meanings by Robert H. Thawles, which is lesson number 9 of your book. And this essay is quite different for you and carries a theme which is unique and different from the essays that you read earlier, and you are going to enjoy it definitely if you comprehend it and understand it well. The writer of the essay is a very famous psychologist, and this essay also deals with some psychological phenomena. And the title of the essay, Emotional Meanings, it is basically conveying or pointing towards the use of words which carry literal meaning as well as some emotional meanings. And writer brings our attention towards the fact that when we use the words in our speech or in our writing, those words not only convey the literal meaning of the words, but also some emotional meanings which lie behind the use of those words and which lie in our unconscious. Whatever we are thinking about anything, whatever emotions we have about the thing we are referring to, we use or we choose the words which show our approval or disapproval of the thing that we are mentioning in our speech. In this essay, students, writer has very wisely brought out the difference between the emotional meanings of the words and their literal, or we may say objective meanings. The objective meanings, this phrase or this term is used by him in the essay, and you can understand it very well. What does it mean by objective thinking or objective meaning, as you have read the essay The Place of Science in Liberal Education by Bertrand Russell, and he has very clearly described the use of term objective. So objective meaning, or we may say a scientific meaning of something. So writer is in favor of scientific judgment rather than the moral judgment, because the moral judgment is often biased and prejudiced, and writer wants to convey to the readers that they should use the word in their objective and impersonal meanings, and judgment about anything should be made by using the objective or scientific words. They must not be biased or prejudiced. And he also wants to convey that use of emotional words, it can have many effects which can be good, but they can also be worse. So one should be careful in choice of words when one is speaking and when one is writing anything. And in this essay, writer gives many examples to show the difference between the objective meanings of the words and emotional meanings of the words. And he defines words meaning as something that when we use a word in speech or in our writing, its most obvious purpose is to point to something or to some property or to some relation. So this can be called words meaning. And naming a four-footed animal a dog or a colored man a Negro, these are the examples that he gives in the essay. Uh, it carries a plain and very objective meaning. When someone refers to a four-footed animal, or when someone describes the properties of a dog, word dog comes to our mind, and that dog carries nothing emotional but an objective and scientific meaning, and an image of dog comes to our mind. Similarly, when someone refers to a colored man in a very plain and objective way, word Negro comes to our mind, and it carries nothing negative or nothing biased. But if someone calls a dog a mongrel, or if someone calls Negro as a nigger, the word nigger, 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 when someone uses this word, it shows that a person who is speaking those words, he has very strong emotional disapproval towards these particular things, dog and Negro. So such suggestion of an emotional judgment, it go beyond exact and scientific judgment, because now it involves our approval and disapproval. And moral judgment is individual, personal and prejudiced, and it is based on someone's personal like and dislike. So after giving these very clear examples, he also uses some more examples to convey the difference between emotional meanings and the objective meanings of the words. And students, you can understand the use of emotional words very well if you analyze it in your own language. Just as in our language, in our Urdu and Punjabi language, we use many words which are carrying our attitude toward that particular thing, and the use of word shows that how we feel about that particular subject of particular thing or some particular property. Similarly, in every language such cases occur, and a very easy example he gives on the second page of the lesson. He says that when we analyze the words firm, obstinate and pig-headed, if we analyze these words scientifically, they mean the same. Firm, someone is firm at something, someone is obstinate at something, or someone is pig-headed at something. If we analyze these words, there is no difference between these meaning of these words, but their emotional meaning can show what a person thinks about that particular thing he is referring to. If one uses the word firm, it shows that someone is positively biased for something. If someone uses the word obstinate for somebody, it means disapproval. It means something negative, a negative feeling for that person. And if someone uses word pig-headed for somebody, it shows strong disapproval for that particular person for which the word is being used. So such thinking, writer wants to say that such thinking, if it is made in some time of some crisis or in war time, it may do much harm, because it urges even the kind people to condone cruelty. The use of emotionally toned words is harmful when we are trying to think clearly on some disputable point of fact, because when we have to reach on some conclusion, we need a scientific and cold thinking. And in such matters, if emotional thinking is preferred or some moral judgment is made, it may be quite misleading. This is something that the writer brings our attention towards, and there are many more examples in the essay which convey the same meaning. The essay is quite lengthy, but there is a repetition of the theme, so this may not be very difficult for you. In the next lecture we shall discuss it further. Till then you must read the text so that you may understand it fully, and it may become easy for you. So goodbye for today, students.